today. To start, let's do the Pledge of Allegiance. Flag over there.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Public notification of this meeting has been published, posted, and distributed in compliance with the South Carolina Freedom of Information Act. First thing, order of business is we need the approval of the agenda. Could I get a thank you right on it? And Jim is the second on it.
That's my last one.
Anyone opposed? Well, let's have a discussion on the approval of the agenda. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll have a vote. Anyone opposed to approving approval of the agenda? Hearing none, the agenda approves. Howard, do you need a pen? A good writing utensil? It looks like you threw your pen away and discussed that it does not write.
Check them off as we go.
That's the smart thing to do. Just get rid of it. Don't put it back in the pen basket.
Oh, good, thank you.
Okay, now we need the approval of the minutes from our last meeting, which was September 11th. Could I get a motion to approve the minutes? Mark, and a second from Howard. Any discussion on the minutes? Anybody see any problems? Okay, do we have anybody online today or no? I should have asked
no.
that sometimes. Okay.
I
So
didn't
Nick,
hear from anyone.
oh,
Here's somebody.
who is that? Nick's on the line? Okay, so we got Nick on the line. We want to make sure we have him in the meeting. That was one of our corrections, the only correction I can ever remember of any minutes, as long as I've been on the board. Hearing no discussion on the approval of the minutes, could I get, we'll have a vote. Anyone opposed to approving the minutes from the last meeting on September 11th? Hearing none, the motion passes. Now we'll move on to public comment. I'll remind the public that limit your comments to 3 minutes. Do we have anyone that needs to have any comments? No? All right, we'll move on from there. We will now move to the director's report. John?
All right, we get it. Kind of good?
All right. All right, let's see if we can.
Move up.
All right, there we go. Oh, I think. Oh, we had it.
We had it.
I can see it. What's your problem? Everybody come up around me. Leave it like that.
I don't need that. Okay, here. I'm not sure why it's.
This is a working group. It's fine.
Yeah. Let's go back.
Good, we can see it.
Yeah, that's good enough.
Does it work on the bottom right?
It seemed that way.
It's been, what, 9 months?
Happening is when you put it in your presentation mode, it sees the second monitor as a different
Here's Melinda.
source.
Oh, there we go. Come on through, come on through. That way there's proof that you come through the camera.
Well, you showed up. No, physically, you're always on.
That's very nice.
Yeah. We're always teasing.
That's cool.
Exactly.
Leslie and I.
Totally.
Oh, it doesn't want to.
Yeah, it doesn't want to switch over.
I got you.
Perfect.
Oh, there it is.
There we go.
All right.
Here's the thing.
All right, well, we'll talk a little bit about the tower as we go on, but as you probably know, the tower project's going on, so you can see a nice new paint job if you go out there and check it out. This shows a little progression there, different views with the new tower paint, and they've transitioned to working inside the building now, so lots of new stuff going on inside the tower.
Anybody working there?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, yeah, and the tower, just shutdown update for you. Our tower folks are contract, so they're not affected by the shutdown. I don't know if their corporate headquarters are getting paid, but we do have tower workers, so we're in good shape. The only group that's affected by the shutdown are the TSA officers in the terminal. And so they're the only federal employees who are on our airport. And we reached out, it's in here, we'll talk about it later, so I won't get ahead of myself, but they're the only federal employees. All right, terminal updates. You can see this is the back of the building. So the siding is getting prepped here, and that'll be going on the back of the building. So everything's looking quite a bit different than it did just a few weeks ago. The siding is really, really looking sharp. You can see some of that on the front of the building, the board and batten going on there. So it's really shaping up there. And then we've got some inside, there's some more of the prep work for the siding on the back. You see the moisture barrier, that's that black tar looking stuff there. So that's the back side of the building. Then we'll go inside. You can see some of the paint going up. Drywall is finishing up. So a lot of detail work is happening inside the building now. Lighting is being installed. We've got electricity. The HVAC units are all being tested and powered up. So just in time for it to cool down, we'll have air conditioning. Perfect timing. All right, then we had the tour on the 26th. Melinda, hopefully you enjoyed that. We had a real good turnout for that. So I think we had every member of town council but one. I think we had one who was at a wedding or something, but everybody else was there. We had town staff there as well, which was great. And then we had the stakeholder group from the master plan and ALP update there as well. So excellent time to take everybody on kind of the inside tour there and show them what the building looks like and have a chance to ask questions and that sort of thing too. So I thought it was a great event, and hopefully it was beneficial to the folks who are working on the master plan as well to see what that building is going to look like. All right, and as we like to do at the airport, we open it up to the public, and we had a field trip a few weeks ago, and we've got another one next week with another set of classes from this Royal Oaks Academy. And they're located real close to the airport, so it's convenient for them. But they brought some folks over and had a chance to see the ARF and do the ride-alongs, as you can see. And they actually got to go up in the towers right before we started the construction and renovation in there. So they're probably the last group to be able to go up in the tower for a little bit until that project's done. But another great experience and making some new young aviation friends. And then up at Beaufort Executive, we had the Girls in Aviation event, and this was started or kind of led by the Sheriff's Office, and their public affairs rep was the one who kind of set this up, and then Marlene and Brandon put this together for the airport and set everything up, and Chief brought the new fire truck up, so that was fun. Everybody got to see the ARF vehicle, and lots of booths and things set up there. But the Sheriff's Office had their helicopter out there on display, and if I remember correctly, I think they had 4 female pilot/flight crew. So that might have been kind of the impetus for starting this event, but definitely some great encouragement for folks, for young ladies and young people in general, just to get involved in aviation. So we're excited to do that because we go through cycles in aviation where there's shortages of folks. So it's definitely good to plant that seed and get people thinking about a career in aviation. And then Chief went up last week, right, to Greenville-Spartanburg and was one of the evaluators for their triennial ARF and AEP exercise. So this, every 3 years, you do a full-scale exercise on an airport, on a Part 139 airport, to test your ARF and to test your airport emergency plan. And so it involves everybody on the airport, but it also involves folks off the airport. So you get the hospitals tied in, you get Sheriff's Office tied in, you get EMS tied in, all all of your mutual aid responders. So it could be other fire departments and other emergency folks like that. You get the FBI involved in this, depending on what your scenario looks like. They'll get briefed up on it. But it's an all-inclusive and a very complex and complicated event. And you kind of grade yourself on it as well, internally at the airport and also externally with your mutual aid partners. But it is a Part 139 requirement, so you do report the results of this to the FAA so that they know kind of what's going on. But Chief got to go up there. It was great prep because we'll be doing an exercise in February. So it's good for him to go up there and evaluate and see what they were doing up at Greenville.
So you're saying that every airport does it every 3 years?
Yes.
Okay,
Yep. Every certificated airport.
right.
Yep. And that's some that are not. If the big ones may still have an ARF component that do that, but it's required for Part 139. All right, we did talk about the shutdown. This is one of those things where you're not really sure where the end is in sight here. But as soon as we knew this was really happening, the day of, first day of the shutdown, we reached out to the chamber and said, hey, wouldn't it be great if we had some member businesses provide at least lunches to the TSA officers? And it's nice because it's only about 12 a day that they need to provide. So we're not a humongous airport with that makes it a heavy lift. So it's been great. We've had, as you can see on here, Surge Group stepped up first and they took care of the first 5 days. So just phenomenal community support. You can see the other ones. We've had the hospital twice this week provide lunches. And the TSA folks are extremely appreciative of this because while the shutdown happened right after a paycheck, we don't know how long this is lasting. So right now they're working and they're not being paid. And I know the last time this happened, once the government came back online, the regular paycheck started happening, but it took a while to get that back pay to get reimbursed for that time. So depending on how long this goes, there are definitely some possibilities for some hardships here. So I just encourage, we're going to try, I think we're keeping this going through the end of this week at least. But if we have anybody else who's interested in stepping up, please let us know. Like I said, with no end in sight, it's kind of hard to put boundaries on the system. But if anybody is interested in helping out there, we can coordinate the logistics and make sure that the TSA folks are supported.
John, several years ago, when this thing went on for a long time, we did do like a fund. We put
Yes.
together a fund for the TSA officers here.
Yep.
And it was just a contribution. It was mostly us, the board, and other folks.
Yes, and they remember that, actually. I was
Yeah,
talking with
and
them in the terminal.
yeah.
They remember that from the last time,
Well,
so
I'd recommend we consider doing that again.
certainly can do that. I mean, the lunches are easy, and the reason I say lunches are easy, these are federal employees, so they kind of have, wacky things they can and can't do. So when I first, I almost say I made a mistake by reaching out to the federal security director to let him know we were going to do this. You could hear the wheels screech all of a sudden and say, wait a minute, what do you want to do? We just want to take care of these people. So the good thing is meals are easy to do. And the main qualifier for these for federal employees is you just have to make it available to all the federal employees. Well, for us, it's just TSA. So it works out well. So if we provide meals to all of our federal employees, then nobody's feeling slighted and we're okay, we're within the bounds. Once you start talking about other types of support, it gets a little bit squirrely at the federal level. So food is easy.
We were able to give them cash. That wasn't an issue.
You did, and I don't
Yes,
know
it
that
was
anybody
supposed-
approved or disapproved it last time. What I'm telling you, I've been
For
told.
forgiveness, not permission.
I just told you what the easiest guidelines
Yeah.
You just do it.
Moving right along.
How many TSA employees are there roughly?
Well, they do rotate in, but
Well,
at
right
any,
there.
Here.
Yeah,
at any given time, it's about 10 to 12.
okay.
I think we gave them close to $100 apiece last.
I didn't hear that.
I didn't hear it.
Okay,
Yeah,
moving
well,
right
geez.
along. Let's go up to ARW and talk about the runway
We're all gonna be
rehab.
walking out of here in cuffs.
Are they gonna pay it back when they get their back pay? Moving on.
All right.
Pay no attention behind that.
Moving up north, let's talk about some projects. ARW has finished the runway rehab project. We kind of did that in stages. We wanted to time the closures so that we weren't in the high traffic times. I think we did a pretty good job of doing that. The grooving and the final painting was all done nighttime, and that was a little piecemeal. We had some weather issues, humidity issues. The paint's pretty sensitive to humidity, so we had to be careful there. But it's all finished, and it looks really sharp, and it is fantastic to have grooves out there. Days like today, when you get a little bit of moisture, when you can tell folks that, yes, we have grooved asphalt, then they say, oh, yeah, we can come in there then. So it does make a difference to flight departments to have that. So short runway with the grooves definitely helps us out. Brandon, anything to add on that?
Yes, sir, everything was good.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
Brandon was the one who had to endure any pain that we had, so we appreciate
No, it
everything
did go
he's done.
very well, I thought. And I got to take off on it on Tuesday for the first time. I did notice the difference.
Nice.
Yeah, you can tell. It's nice.
Good. All right, hangars are being worked on too. Still site work out there. There's more, rock and soil and stuff being delivered out there and moved around. They have to dance around the weather a little bit. So every time it looks like it's going to rain, you get the rollers and everything out there to tighten everything back up so they don't get a lot of erosion. But we should have, I think we're coming up on a progress meeting soon, so we'll get an update on where they are and what the schedule looks
John,
like.
is this why the AWAS is out?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, the AWAS will be relocated with this project. So we do have a little weather station inside the terminal, though. Brandon got that set up, so if you do need a quick check, feel free to either jump inside or call inside, and they can give you the quick report. Always more fun to hear a real voice anyway than to call up. All right, coming to the end here. A couple weeks ago, Leslie had us set up with an Indigo Run presentation, and that's a great group. I think it's about every 3 or 4 years I talk to that crew, and they bring a crowd. So we meet out at the community center out there by the golf course, by the clubhouse, and I think they said we had about 140 people there.
It was max.
Yeah,
You have to sign up for those and have a reservation. 'cause
Nobody else gets that many people, but when it's the airport, that's right. The ticket prices go up. Yeah, so it was, but it was great. The good thing about doing these types of presentations, we always get really good questions. So that was fun. And I brought a bunch of free stuff to hand out. They were like school kids. Everybody's coming up to see what was in my bag. Hey, do you have any handouts left? So everybody got their little bag tags. I had a few golf balls. I gave those to the front row Joes because nobody ever wants to sit up front. So they all got golf balls. Everybody else got the other stuff. But it was a good presentation. I appreciate being able to do that. And again, I want folks to know if you have a group who's interested in learning about the airport, if they want to schedule a visit, have them do that. And if they want to hear a presentation, I'm more than willing to do that as well. So, Fly My Airport. This is a new piece of technology that you're going to see on our website pretty soon. And what this does, I brought some notes so I can tell you. Fly My Airport is going to have our flight schedule on the website itself, and you can book now directly from our website. So the deal is we're driving traffic to our website, we're making people aware of our flights, and we're making it so that you can book right from our website. You're not just going to get the information and then go, somewhere else to book. You can book now directly from our website. It's connected to Kayak, so it uses that online booking engine to do that. But what this now enables us to do is it's not just measuring clicks on a website, we actually can now measure revenue. So actual business being conducted on our website. And the average increase in website traffic is about 40%. So most airports and I think there's 40-some airports in the country who do this now. New Bern is doing it, Columbia is doing it. So take a look at those airport websites and you'll see all the cities they fly to. And what's fun is it will show you the nonstop routes that we have, and it will also show you the one-stop routes. And I think our one-stop routes are 200 plus. So it's a little bit eye-opening when you see, because if you can fly to those big hubs, Charlotte and Atlanta, you can get anywhere in the world. So we are literally, you can get anywhere in the world with one stop out of Hilton Head. So it'll be fun to see how that develops, but it'll be on the website hopefully very soon. So anyhow, you can check that out when it pops up. Last one is airline check-ins. We try to do this every year. after the summer season just to see how things went, just to see what their numbers look like, to make sure the airlines were hitting their internal milestones, and then finding out what we can do to make life better for them and to kind of encourage them a little bit to extend their seasons. You know, United and Delta will leave at the end of this month, so we always want them to extend their seasons a little bit and hopefully eventually kind of close that gap and have everybody year round. But I think that there is need for that when we look at the number of hotel rooms and availability and traffic during the shoulder season. We're vastly under capacity on airlift. So we're sharing all of that information. We work with the chamber and the VCB to get all of that data from the resort, so we know exactly what they're doing, what their data points are, and we're going to share that with the airlines so they better understand what the potential market is during the shoulder season. And then, of course, we talked last month, I think, about the Farmers Insurance event where they brought their top folks out to Hilton Head Island. We mentioned that to the chamber and some other key stakeholders, and the people at the resorts know that that's the way, one easy way to bridge that shoulder season a little bit more. But you've got to have that airlift. So we're going to tell that same story to the airlines and make sure they know that as we try to develop that on the island in a collaborative way, then we'll keep the airlines informed so that they know that need is there. But it's a great way to fill that shoulder season.
Do you think that once the their posture and fill that gap?
We're hoping so. Shiny new toys is what everybody likes. So we'll be the shiny new toy for a while. And
Capacity for play?
yes, yeah, we're vastly under capacity now. We could handle a lot more, and a lot more that frankly wouldn't be noticeable, because we're not gonna go up 10 times in traffic. It's not gonna happen. So a small increase to that would give the consumer more choices would be excellent, because then that starts to kind of build your value. And then, and like I said, that would be a very small impact, relatively speaking, to what we have now.
John, do you foresee that maybe we can, at one time we had overnight flights, in other words, American left early morning flights out of here. Do you foresee with the
I think so, but that's completely an airline decision. So we push that with our air service development folks to the planners and schedulers, but it's up to them. We have no idea how many things they're trying to balance as they figure out these schedules. So we give the information to the airlines, and then we try to reinforce that with them and encourage decisions. But at the end of the day, it's got to fit into their schedule. Yeah.
Because we need to branch out from that 10 to 2 syndrome. That's where all the flights are coming, and that's when it's really crazy busy. If we could get some morning flights or more night flights, we'd be better.
Yeah, exactly. All right, that is the end of my brief. Any questions for me?
John, what's the maximum number of people you can handle for an airport tour? Maximum number of people one time.
Oh, boy, for an
Are they
airport.
well-behaved people or
Like our-
people that are?
Our field trip, what's the biggest? We've had some pretty big groups. I mean,
You're talking for the
for a
trip or
field
the-
trip,
We had
we've had 60 or higher, more than 60.
more, like close to 80 with
Yeah.
the Christian Academy.
80 is manageable?
Manageable. Yep, and we work that, we have different stations set up, so we kind of divide everybody up.
But a smaller group is better, definitely better.
Yeah,
because,
you definitely get more individual attention if you have a smaller group. And then with a big group, what you have to do for if we do fire truck rides and stuff, you kind of have to pick a number out of a hat, and people win the lottery to ride that. Smaller groups, sometimes everybody gets a chance. All right.
Hey, John,
Yeah,
on
Mark.
the hangar update at Beaufort, that obviously is the horizontal work. Any further word on progress for the vertical work?
I'm gonna talk to
have
Chris
that.
after the meeting.
I will have that after, I will have a
Okay.
little bit of an update on what I did.
Okay.
That has no results yet, but I'm just keeping everybody in the know.
Yep, so we'll have, the ARW committee's gonna be working on that. So yeah, you and Mark and Jim,
Yeah.
David, I think you were working on that too?
Back for a couple months.
Yeah. All right, anything else?
I don't think so. Any other questions for John? Okay, John, but
Wait,
don't
wait.
leave because we're going to go to unfinished
Right.
business. But because this board is so efficient with full professionals on the board, we have no unfinished business. We get our business done.
Got that right.
So we'll now move on to new business, which will be John. And let's go to the first one on the action items, a contract award, recommendation to approve contract award for retail and food beverage concessions at Hilton Head Island Airport to Tailwind Hospitality Incorporated. You want to go ahead and do an explanation?
Sure. Yep, so we bid this out. We were coming to the end of the contract term anyway with Tailwind, and it almost coincided perfectly with the new part of the terminal coming online. So we bid that out in the spring and early summer and received, what do we have, 3 or 4, I think, submissions for that. Evaluated those, and then Tailwind came out on top for that. So we did interviews with the top 2 probably about a month ago and selected Tailwind as the winner. So we're working with them now. We've got them paired up with our architect team for their build out because there's going to be some new things that they'll build within the terminal. And but they've got a great program that answered what we needed in the RFP. So that's who we put forward. They were the top scorer on the evaluations, and so this will go from you to Public Facilities Committee and then on to County Council.
You might add that they are also going to source a lot of their stuff locally, to include one of the people who bid and didn't make it. So I mean, that's a real positive for Tailwinds.
Exactly. That's one of the things that we really want in that terminal is that local flavor. So you're not going to see you're not going to see a Starbucks or a Chick-fil-A, but you'll have local businesses represented.
Who is the local business? I thought you were going to tell us that.
Well,
Tailwinds.
yeah, Tailwind is the
Within
main
that.
concessionaire, and some of that's still in the works. I mean, they're putting their team together. They're just winning the contract. Okay, so as we award that contract to them, then they'll further, put their plan. But we've talked about several things, but until that contract's awarded,
But I mean, are we looking at someone like Surge Group or?
Surge didn't bid.
They didn't bid, okay. All right.
Tailwind is a concessionaire. They will
Right.
use some local providers.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, because Tailwind's not local. They're just an airport concessionaire.
Right. Well, they're from Wilmington, so they're in the Carolinas at least. And they've been our provider.
Leslie, I asked that question of Marlene, is that who I worked with? And because I was surprised, there were a lot of the local companies, and she said they simply did not bid. They were offered the opportunity to bid, but they didn't bid.
That's surprising.
Yep.
It's pretty hard, but think about it from a business side. That's a hard thing to do when we're seasonal, as much seasonality as you have. And you were just talking about a 10 to 2 rush. Trying to, you think about workers on 8-hour shifts, trying to get everything. It's not an easy thing to.
But Surge would be the likely one. I mean, they have their own frozen food section over there that, they've got all that in place already.
But I think the
outside.
point is it's an open opportunity for everyone. Everybody was notified of it, and they get to make their own choices.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, well, I'm curious, I'm surprised.
Okay, so any other questions for John regarding the contract? Okay, could I get a motion? David? Very quick hands, so quick. Second will be Rich.
Because I just moved my head, but if
I
you
was
want to interpret
recommending
that
because
as
I was on the committee.
What'd you say, David?
I just actually just moved my head.
I know, but I wanted you to win something today. I want everyone to walk out of here a winner.
I'm looking at the tower.
Any
your eyes on that
discussion,
one.
more discussion regarding the contract? Okay, hearing none, we'll have a vote. Anyone opposed to accepting the contract or recommending it to move on to the Facilities Committee, is that correct? For
Right.
the council?
Yeah.
Hearing none opposed, the motion passes, or the contract award passes. We'll move on to the Master Services Agreement. Recommendation for approval of a resolution authorizing a non-competitive master service agreement between Beaufort County and Uvanix, UAvionics Corporation.
All right, so this is a three-parter. Number 2, 3, and 4 are all related. And so the first one is a master services agreement, and that's the contract that we'll sign with UAvionics. The second one is the subscription, so that will pay for the installation of the software and then the first year's subscription fees. And then the last item on there is it's looking forward grant acceptance. We're applying for use of entitlement funds from Aeronautics Commission to fund this. And so this is just setting all that up for approval. But
And that funding's at the same 90%, or is it at 10%?
no, this is 100% because it's entitlement.
Okay, it's entitlement, it's 100%. Okay, so
Yep.
basically, so everyone understands, so that includes the subscription fees, everything.
Right. So
Okay.
it'd be the initial installation plus the first year subscription
Okay.
fee. So what this is, I think I talked about it last meeting, but this is the software that the FAA has evaluated, and they chose UAvionics as the provider. They picked only one, so this is a non-competitive agreement that you're putting forward and we'll take to council. But what they do is they provide basically a stars-type display in the tower so that the operators in the tower can see location, identifiers, all the information that you'd normally be able to see on a screen. They're not doing controlling, but they can actually see what's out there now as if they, had a no-kidding radar screen. So,
Like we thought they've been doing all along until you start flying and realize, oh, they don't really see us.
correct. So this gives them that updated software that we've talked about literally for years, and that we've, been in the halls of Congress working on every year. It's finally here. UAvionics is a group that got the contract. We will be the first tower that Robinson Aviation has to implement this.
So it's a radar solution without radar.
Exactly.
Yeah, long time ago.
If you
exactly.
come from MCAS or Savannah.
I honestly don't know how it works, David. We can find that out as we get more into it.
Yeah. What's the estimated time for installation, roughly?
Maximum is 180 days from signing the contract, but they told us that they'll beat that by a long shot. Everybody's pretty enthusiastic to get these guys here. We're already working on getting them in for a site visit, and they're fine to do that because the county process is a little bit deliberate, shall we say.
Yeah.
So they're willing to come and do the site visit and everything before we actually have the contract signed, because they know we're going forward with it.
Okay.
And you don't know if this works off of ADS-B data or transponder data or transponder?
I probably should, Mark, but I don't.
What about transponder non-equipped aircraft? Are they going to be visible too?
I
I don't know. Those
think
are
that
technical questions,
question was
obviously.
asked, and I think the answer is no.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that answer is no, but everything else, yes. So I think it is kind of ADS-B based, if I remember correctly. But we'll get you, what we can do is we get this going, folks, is we'll get you a technical brief. And we'll either email it out to you or have you come in and listen to it. But we'll get you a little bit more technical information.
That'd be fun to go see it.
And since this is going to be the subscriptions, I'm assuming 1 year, right? When we get to it, we can, but I figure since we're going to do all these three, we can discuss all three at one time. We'll have to do individual votes.
Sure.
But we won't really have to have much discussion. The subscriptions for a year, the next year, will we also get another grant for that from, hoping
Yes.
from SEA? Okay. What roughly, just for the public, 2-3 people out there listening, roughly what's the subscription a
100
year? 100 people right now?
Yeah. Give or take.
Yeah, give or take.
No, it's the annual subscription is $35,000.
Okay.
Okay, so we pay that, and then it's, of course, they have the ability to increase with CPI or 3%, I think was a max. So it'll increase a little bit.
Okay.
But that gets you the radar viewing.
That's
And
neat.
that handles everything from just the use of the software to the maintenance and upkeep, all the updates.
We don't have
and
any
things.
additional expenses basically going forward from it. Once we've paid, we keep on paying. They're going to cover all of it.
They've got max response times
Yeah.
built in, everything
Okay.
like that. So they need to, if something happens, they've got to respond.
Okay.
Yep.
How do we cover if the grants run out, how do we cover the expense for the subscription?
Well, so far, I mean, the entitlement grants are there for the foreseeable future. If something changes at aeronautics, then we'll use airport revenue for that.
Yeah, and I think based on the financials we've seen that Brian presented, I don't think, it shouldn't be a problem.
And that's an easy, high priority
Yeah, that
item
is,
too.
yeah, safety-wise,
Yeah.
it checks all the boxes. Okay, any other discussion on that?
I imagine it makes the airlines happy to know we're gonna have this.
Yes.
Controller's
Yeah.
happier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably didn't know.
Oh, there you are.
Like that.
All right, any other discussion before we proceed? Could I get a motion?
I'll make that motion.
You're going to make, David's on that one. Second, Mark?
Sure.
There we go.
I'm all for it.
Okay, so since I don't think we need any more discussion on this, we're going to vote these right back to back to back since we've discussed all three. But anyone opposed to the master service agreement, item number 2? Hearing none, we will, motion passes to approve it and move it on to facilities. Or not facilities, it'll go straight to council, right?
This will go to facilities as well.
Facilities as well, okay. And then on the number 3, the subscription agreement, I need a motion for that. Howard, and David is second on that. Once you get someone involved, see what happens? You get a little happiness, some happy feet, now they get all excited. That's why you gotta keep everybody involved. So we'll take a vote. Any opposed to approving the subscription agreement? Hearing none, that motion passes as well. And now we'll move on to number 4 for the grant acceptance of that. Could I get a motion for that? Leslie? And David will second again.
Oh,
He's on
record.
fire and fuego.
A new record.
Honestly, hoping that
So,
side of the report in finals.
So we'll now, we'll have a vote on that, and anyone opposed to accepting this grant? Hearing none, that motion passes as well. And now we'll move on to number 5, grant acceptance, a recommendation to approve the resolution to accept SCAC grant in the amount of $31,000 for the general aviation parking lot improvements, design and bidding required by the parking attendant, Elite Parking. I
Right, so
think
the-
for those of us that
Yeah.
were actually went to, and the tour was great, by the way, of the Hilton Head Airport,
Airport.
what's going on. I really enjoyed it. I think everybody did who was there. For those of you that didn't, shame on you. You
And for
should have been
those
there.
that missed, you missed Chris's lunch.
Yeah, you missed my lunch too. That was a free lunch.
Out of town.
I understand.
Out of town.
That's no problem, no problem. We missed you. We'll hopefully get to do it again. So go ahead and explain about the parking, what this is for.
Or Steve, do you want to do this or you want me to do it? Steve's running the parking project, so
Yeah.
as he's coming up, I'll let you know, everybody's got a hard hat now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Your name's on your hard hat, so don't lose your hard hat. And what that is, that's your ticket for a tour. So put a few of you together, and if you want to come out and check things out, then we'll get you. We're not going to do you one at a time, but if you get a group together, we'll be happy
Yeah.
to see you. And then Chris will buy you lunch.
But, yeah, apparently I'll buy you lunch. Tell them about the most important part about the name on the helmet. Where does it go? Which way does it face?
We can let you figure that out. It is always fun watching people do this, but the name goes on the back, folks.
Yeah.
I did that wrong.
Yeah.
It's okay. You weren't the only one.
Okay, so Elite Parking, and it's kind of a reminder, I think you guys have been aware of in the past, they're the new vendor to provide paid parking at the terminal. We also included the GA side of the airport. With the size of our terminal parking lot, it's becoming, and we realize it's very difficult to squeeze in the requirements for Elite Parking to put the gates up. So it's going to be a gate system and a license tag reader, and that's the simple version. But to put that site work and that infrastructure in is becoming difficult because we don't have a lot of straight lanes at the terminal parking lot. They're all curved. So now we realize we might need to add asphalt to make a curved lane straight, for example. So we had to reach out to our consultants, Talbot Wright and Ellington, and say, hey, we need a parking lot study. We need some engineering done so that we can properly put in these gates to start collecting revenue at the airport via the gate parking system. In the interim, we have the Elite has provided a QR code that you can pay for parking, but we have to use something for revenue until we get these gate systems in. So that's what this grant is going to go pay for, to get the engineering and the bidding portion so we can get the site work done. This is only on the terminal side. The GA side, we have plenty of room to do this, so we don't have to worry about it on the GA side.
So is the QR code working?
It does.
Okay.
So it's strictly voluntary with the QR code?
I'm not going to say that, but we say
Well-
everybody needs to scan the QR code. Sure.
Okay.
In other words, you can park free.
I'll
You
say there's
shouldn't.
nobody coming through to check to make sure that you've paid.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yet.
Yet.
Okay. Any other questions for Steve on this? All right. So I need a motion for that. Bring it forward. Okay, Rich, second. It'll be Jim. And since we've already had the discussion, we can go straight to a vote. Anyone opposed to accepting the accepting the grant? Hearing none, the motion passes, and that will move on as well. So now we will move on to the chairman update, unless anyone has anything.
Well,
David?
regarding parking, and I brought this
Yeah.
up before, and I don't know if there's a solution, but just the lack of parking at ARW. I mean, I saw you the other day, you were parking in the grass, and there's no way all those cars are related to people that are at the airport. I mean, some of them are long-term, but even when the ramp was empty, when the runway was being refinished, there were 30 cars out there and 15 airplanes on the ramp.
I have reimagined that parking lot since I've been working here to figure it out, and put systems in place since I've been working here to try to figure it out. I will say though, once a new master plan gets going for ARW like we're doing at HXD, I have a lot of iterations that I've worked with Talbot and Bright on a new parking lot. Getting that to fruition is going to take some time, but the hangar project is part of that step. But
I
again,
think in the master plan, we moved the parking out in front of the terminal.
that's going to be the preferred option, is to go out in front of the terminal. But again, remember, parking lots at airports are a lot more difficult to get funding for than aviation related, if that makes sense. So now we're looking at airport funds or entitlement funds to do things like that.
Or revenue, and then income
Right.
where we have the funds
Right.
to do that,
That's right.
to be able to make that work. The
It's got to
catch-22.
be being used as a park and ride lot for county residents like.
It is, and we have, since Brandon come on, I've had plans in place. Here's options to get people to pay for long-term parking, because that's what it is.
Right.
It's people with drop cars, or the term drop cars. They're parking their cars and they're flying out somewhere. Sometimes they leave their cars there for a long period of time. And we have ways at Beaufort Executive for those people to pay to park there. So some of those cars are paying to park there. So we are generating revenue from it.
Are we getting a good percentage of the long-term out of, I know there was a big push, we've been pushing for it for quite a few years now. Do we get most of the cars that people are leaving there long-term?
We're getting the cars there, but I will say the revenue piece is small because the parking lot in itself is very small.
Yeah.
So when you're looking at a parking lot that holds 20 cars, 8 or 9 of them are drop cars. And so we're getting revenue for the 8 or 9. The rest of the people are coming in and flying for a day or two and then
Yeah.
leaving, or they work there. Brandon, you got something to add?
At least 20 of the cars that's in that parking lot are paid.
Okay, 20? Okay, good.
So Brandon's done some work
Than
to
I
get them
would've
paid.
thought.
Yep.
Yeah,
Okay,
all right,
thank you.
good. All right, so we'll move on. Anything else for Steve or John? Okay, we can move on to the chairman update. I will wait for my update till we get to the ARW Improvement Committee to give you my latest thing that I've done. So we'll move on to the committees. I don't think for the ambassadors, any report?
Nothing then. I suspect next summer, we're going to need more ambassadors.
Okay.
So, and I just got a call the other day for someone that through word of mouth had heard about it and is very interested. So I am taking names. So if you just kind of put the word out there to help to get people that might be interested, I think I can start. Not until next summer, but I do think we're going to
And you
need more.
had 12, was it 12 this year?
I had 12,
Yeah.
but a couple of them, for whatever reason, weren't able to help, so it was really down to almost 10.
Okay,
And I think we really need 15 to do the right job. We don't even
Okay.
know what the expanded hours might be, so.
okay. All right, thank you on that. And the government committee, Rich?
No action this month, sir.
No action?
No.
Okay.
Government shut down.
The government, this is for last month. It hadn't shut down yet. John, don't let him off the hook.
Tell the difference.
Jeff Bradley is shut down mentally. He's out in the ocean.
Okay, so we got, so nothing from that. What about the, Brian's not here, but Howard for the HXD improvement?
We're having a difficulty in getting everybody assembled. It's still on the books, it'll happen, just not sure when.
Brian had a little
just a
chastising
YouTube.
email out there about non-response. I thought I had responded, but maybe I
Brian-
hadn't.
I think you did.
I think I did too. and I-
Brian says it's like herding cats.
Oh, it is. We were
There's only
just.
two cats he's
I was
trying to
talking to
herd.
Tom. It's tough to get, when you get to 3 people, all of a sudden it's like everybody's so busy. But
It'll happen.
it'll happen. We'll get it together.
Yeah.
All right. No problem on that.
Can I ask a
Yes.
question for the Hilton
Sure, Melinda.
group? So, as you know, Arbor,
North End, yeah.
yes, and they have a permit.
Is that concrete crushing temporary? Because I seem
It
to
is
recall
not temporary.
in the original deal with the town, I don't think that was in the original deal.
It wasn't, but they were, in the settlement agreement, they are allowed to utilize that land, apply for any permits that they are eligible for, and
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Anything else from HXD improvement? That's it? Financial committee, I don't think we really have anything until we come around to budget. So ARW, improvement committee, I will say, and I will tell you that your chairman is sometimes laxing in some of the things and how quickly he gets things done. And I had told John I would do this. It was a very good idea, and I finally did it. So there has been an email sent to Alice, chairman of the county council, asking to provide for us to do an ad hoc committee, for her to set up an ad hoc committee with members from our board as well as members from the council, county council, to sit down to go over a way that we can make the hangar program move forward with all the hangars. I think what I had requested was that the people that she chooses, I think York Glover needs to be on there since that's part of his district, but I also asked that maybe people who are on town council or county council who maybe aren't as positive towards this project or don't know as much about the airport be on that board, since we'll have airport board members to help support and educate everyone. And I think that makes it a lot easier for them to go forward to explain everything, because what we found, and I'm going to speak for Steve and John a little bit from our discussions, it's hard to talk to finance committee in a room full of people when most of the people on that committee are not educated on really what it is that the airport provides, what the economic impact is, all the other things. So I think hopefully this way, if Alice agrees and sets up this ad hoc committee, we can move forward and get some positive traction on the hangars. And I don't think we had anything else from ARW Improvement Committee. Anything else? Brandon, do you have anything, any big news at the airport at all? Okay. All right.
No timeline yet for that,
for,
for the ad hoc committee? Waiting for an answer
when I
from-
said I recently sent the email,
Yeah.
I mean recent, like
Okay.
this morning.
Okay, okay.
Because I really didn't want to come back up here and looking at everyone's face, knowing that I had not done my job again.
So,
It would be similar to looking at my mother's face, knowing that I disappointed her again. So I did not want to see that. All right, so we've been through the committee reports. Citizen comment, any citizen comment? All right, so we will move to adjournment. Could I get a first on that? That would be Jim. Second? Mark? Adjourn. Thank you, everybody, and we'll see you.